Gets in the way to the cars behind him.
Got a couple of cars in trouble down up against the wall. One coming down. There's the 51 car. That's Jim Bound. And he has some pretty significant contact with the outside wall. Jim had that great run here last year at Darlington in the 88 of Kevin Swantz, the Ryder Truck Chevrolet Monte Carlo, the former Grand Prix World Motorcycle Champion. And apparently his day will be done, Benny, because that's some pretty hard contact.
Yes, very, very hard contact. Let's see if we can see what happened. Going down the corner, and we see Swantz gets in the back of the 51 car. Bound comes back up the hill, gets into the 88 car of Swantz and send him in the wall. And 63 of Tracy Leslie might have had just a little contact.
Well, here we early on lap number 3, we have our first caution flag of the day involving 3 cars, primarily 2 involved. And of course, Carl Simmons will wave the caution flag while and here's a car making an unscheduled pit stop in the backstretch.
This is Jeff Krogh, the Clearwater Forest Industries automobile, and here's why. He comes off turn 2 a little bit too high, and bam! We see the left front tire smoke just before he got there. He said, whoops, I think we'll hit the wall. And we see the 3 car on the brakes hard, smoking the tires, trying to keep from hitting the 56 car.
Well, a tough break for Jeff Krogh as they try to pull some of the sheet metal out of the right side of that car. That wasn't a strut call. That was a car spinning. That is Lance Hooper. The WCW machine that will bring out caution for the 2nd time today.
There's another car. I think that's Matt Hutter on the very bottom of the racetrack. Yes, it was a Stanley Tools automobile.
So the rookie Matt Hutter driving for Team 34 Racing. The car that Todd Bodine drove a year ago, finishing 2nd in the points. He loops around, doesn't appear to have touched anything.
Caught up, or you got flat tires.
And that explains what the problem is. Flat tires. Look at that left front.
You guys want me to come in this time?
Here's a replay. There we see him going down the corner. Hutter on the inside. Lance Hooper on the outside. Tell you what, trying to go on these turn 1 side by side is very difficult, isn't it, Kyle?
Yep, very difficult. And I'm going to tell you something. You know, they got down across the flat, especially right there. You run down across the flat a little bit. He got into the 23 car. But if you see that replay again, Jason Jarrett, that's 2 bullets he's dodged here. The first wreck that happened, he was right in the middle of it, did an incredible job of dodging that one. And that one there, incredible job for a rookie at a place like this.
I know he came here to test with his dad, Dale Jarrett.
Get caught up.
And they were.
If I get caught up, we're going to blow your tire.
There's Jason Jarrett in the car number 32 driving for his dad, Dale. And watch the white car, right side of your screen.
There he is as he goes in the corner. There's a contact between 36 and 23. Both those cars spin. No contact. And the 23 car, I don't think made any contact. Just might have kissed the outside wall ever so gently.
Just barely.
Barely.
All right, 2nd caution flag today coming out on lap 27 involving Lance Hooper and Matt Hutter. Back with more exciting action from
Martin, when we came here for a Busch race, it just seemed like they just took that Michael Waltrip's in the wall there.
Michael having trouble with the Band-Aid force. Apparently having some contact. Now Michael had come all the way from 22nd starting spot up to 15th in less than 30 laps, and now he has had some contact with the wall. We are hearing that there may have been a problem with the power steering. We'll have to try to confirm that.
They told us on the last break that he did not have power steering, and he's got more trouble than that now as we see the right front tire is flat, and the caution flag is out.
Boy, look at the right side of that car, Kyle. There's got to be debris on the racetrack.
Yeah, and he hit really hard because you can see how the right front tire is laid in. So it just knocked the A-frame and everything in.
Well, what a tough break for Michael Waltrip, who holds up the record here with that win in 1992 for the fastest 200-mile Busch race ever, and it made a great gain. 7 spots he had come in the top 15 after just 28 laps. But now his day was over in that Band-Aid Ford.
We saw the reason for the caution flag, that piece of aluminum laying on the racetrack. That would certainly puncture with these tires in a hurry. So NASCAR had no choice except throw the caution, slow the cars down, and send someone out there to pick that piece of aluminum up.
Well, at least Carl Simmons can keep warm today, waving that caution flag on the flag stand. There is the debris that Benny was talking about on the racetrack and the marks on the wall. You always want to leave your mark in racing, but not on the wall at Darlington, South Carolina.
Lose that spot to Bobby Labonte as Labonte goes by the crash hard into the wall up there. You see Mark Krogh around in the 80 car, Tim Fedewa.
That's David Green, the 92 that tagged the outside wall. Mike Coach in the 30. As you mentioned, Benny Fedewa. There's Mark Krogh in the 80. And they furiously waved the caution flag for the 4th time. At least 4, maybe 5 or 6 cars involved on the restart off of turn 2.
Some heavy damage to Mike Cope's car. Let's see if we can see what started all this. There we see Dale Earnhardt Jr. in the 3 car. And there's the 92 car off the corner. Oh, and Earnhardt goes up, taps the back of the 92 car, heavy in the wall. What happened? The 92 car had slowed because of the crash in front of him. And Dale Earnhardt Jr. not able to slow down enough to avoid running the back of it. Let's see if we can see what happened at the very beginning. We see Mark Krogh off the corner. What caused him to spin, I don't really know. But David Green, the 92 car, was slowing down, Kyle, just to avoid this crash.
Yeah, he was just slowing down to avoid the accident. Dale Jr. didn't see it in time, got in the back of him and spun him. So there's really, and it's just like most Winston Cup wrecks. There's 2 wrecks going on here. One happens up front with the 80 car.
Kevin LePage. How's he going to get through this wreck? Oh!
Boy, dodging a bullet. Kevin LePage dodging the backside of the 33 car. And there is David Green able to get out and walk away, fortunately. Now, he was subbing for Derek Cope, who was supposed to drive the Mac Martin car in selected Busch events in 1998. Cope, of course, injured, bruised up somewhat from that Atlanta accident that hard impacted Atlanta 2 weeks ago. And there's what's left of the Slim Jim machine of Mike Cope. Another different angle this time.
See, there's another wreck happening up here that we're not seeing in this shot. Dale Jr. gets in the back here, and then they go to the inside. Then these guys, Lyndon Amick and these guys, all go to the inside to try to avoid it. You see Lyndon Amick, here's LePage down here on the inside. He just barely gets by and collects the group of cars right behind them.
Buckshot Jones did a great job in the Bayer car to the left side of the screen to avoid. He jumped on the brakes. You saw the smoke fly to miss that accident. It happened right in front of him. He is second in the point standings, just 21 points behind LaJoie. Here is Tim Fedua, and there is Mike Cope as he climbs out of the Slim Jim Chevrolet. Been a tough weekend for rookie Mike Cope. A talented young driver had an accident entering the turn.
Oh, we got some heavy damage up in the corner. Mark Martin's in the deal. Randy LaJoie, the points leader, is in the deal. Jeff Purvis.
Caution down. Keep coming. Keep coming.
They scrambled 3 and 4 wide back to the start-finish line. Some cars trying to stay on the lead lap. Some trying to get their lap back. Wow. Lap 60. There, once again, Carl Simmons waving the caution flag for the 5th time today. And this one involves many of the lead cars. Heavy damage on the 60 car of Mark Martin. He was involved. Jeff Purvis involved. There's the 63 of Tracy Leslie.
Wow. That's what I was talking about a moment ago when we saw the 23 car back up. That's usually what you see when a car spins going in turn 1 or turn 3 in Darlington. They back in the fence and look something like that.
Hard to believe that car is still running. Looks like it's running pretty well, but Kyle, probably the fuel cell pushed up in the back of it.
That's what I was just looking at. I don't know where the fuel cell is. It's crushed all the way back to the tail end of the back glass, and there's no telling. I mean, that's amazing.
Yeah, there's the 47 car we saw initially that Vinny talked about, Andy Santerre.
Andy Santerre, and we know that the right front tire is flat on that car just by all the sparks that are flying. We saw that a moment ago. Yeah, here's what happened with the 63. He goes to the corner. That's Tracy Leslie, and the 4 car, Purvis goes up, just touches him in the rear enough to put him in the wall. Here comes LaJoie, and Mark Martin, I don't think hit anything, guys.
Mark got into the back of the 64. Mark really didn't hit anything. LaJoie looked like he got into the outside wall, maybe a little bit in the car in front of him, but
yeah. That's a battle for position. Mark Krogh behind the 80 cars a lap down, and Krogh goes in. Oh, and there's contact between Krogh and Bessie. Bessie goes up, makes some contact with the wall, but then I think there was some contact between he and the 40 car. I believe, wasn't there, Kyle?
Yeah, it looked like Kevin is trying to avoid it, came across and run across the front end of his car. Poor Kevin's had some tremendously bad luck, but that's terrible for Bessie. Bessie was a provisional start and had worked his way all the way to the lead and had led the race at one time today.
Let's see if we can see going in the corner. We see that Mark Krogh was going to follow the 29 car. Bessie came down the racetrack. There was contact. Bessie goes up and watches. He slowly comes down. We saw the right front tire go flat then. Yes, and there comes Kevin LePage and makes contact with Joe Bessie.
All right, from the channel lock in car of Kevin LePage, let's see what he saw as he tries to avoid Joe Bessie.
Not much you can do with your car.
You see the smoke up ahead. He turns left and comes down. And there it is. And he hits it with the front. It goes all the way down the side. And just not a lot he could do. He made a decision. Once you make a decision left or right, you just kind of stick with it.
Well, there's what's left of the power team Chevrolet of Joe Bessie. As you heard Kyle Petty say, he took a provisional start and was running in the top 5. Caution on lap 79 for the 6th time. Supercars. Wow. Whoa, and here's an incident, another incident. The 89 car, Stanton Barrett. Mark Krogh in the 56, and we are hearing from spotters that Jason Jarrett may have dodged the 4th accident of the day. There's the 56 car getting refired. Heavy damage on the back of that Clearwater Chevrolet for Jeff Krogh.
Earlier in the day, he got into the wall coming out of turn 4, and it's hard as a lap car here to stay out of the way all day long. It's tough, so you don't know what happened yet in this accident. But, once something happens to your car, it's bad enough to run this place when your car drives good. When you've already been in the wall 2 or 3 times, it's tough.
Boy, Stanton Barrett had a good run going. I've been in the top 10. Let's see if we can see what happened, Benny.
There we see Stanton Barrett, the white car on the inside, the very left part of the screen. Stanton Barrett goes down the corner. Jeff Krogh, the yellow car. And just like always, they're going to make contact going down in the corner. Krogh spins up right in front of Stanton Barrett. No place to go. And all the other guys. And Jason Jarrett. Whoa! He barely got through that one now. But it was a field goal. It was good for 3 points.
That's twice he's split them. Twice he's split an accident like that. He's done an incredible job today.
Kevin LePage will see what he sees out his windshield of the channel lock Chevrolet. A bunch of smoke. We have one more angle as we see the 56 car Krogh up the hill, bang in the wall, bam, 89 in the inside. Watch Jarrett, the white car. He goes right where the 89 is, turns right, and just misses both cars.
Just the way his daddy and his granddaddy taught him. I guarantee you, Dale Jarrett may want to go inside.
Bessie by. Right now, he's trying to evaluate, do I hurt his head? Did I hit hard enough to knock the fenders in on the tire? You see him lose it. Oh, he gets hit again. That put him into the outside wall. And that time he takes Jeff Krogh with him.
Oh, he took a bunch of cars with him.
Buckshot Jones in the 00 also is in that mess. Elliott Sadler 66. And look at what happened to Dave Blaney in the 93.
Well, that was because the 66 car was up on the high side. He was trying to get into the pits. He was slowing down and giving everybody room. They went in there at 2 under him, and one pushed into him and caused this big mess.
Buckshot Jones 00 comes in. He's been in a war with Randy LaJoie in recent. We'll take a quick break and come back, show you some of the replays of this incident, which happened in lap number 6 of 200 to be run today in the CarQuest 300. Back with you live, Charlotte Motor Speedway. Elliott Sadler's car just off the pace a little, getting collected by perhaps 4 or 5 other cars. We're going to show you some of the replays. Take a look here. We're going to turn 3. They're 3 deep.
Yeah, they just got real. They got too many cars going to the same place at one time there. The 66 got in trouble way over here in trial. Well, he's trying to limp back around to the pit, I do believe. And he caused a big bottleneck over there going into turn 3.
But it was the yellow car, Jeff Krogh, down on the inside. He was all the way on the line and trying to make more room. Here's where part of it happened. That's Shane Hall in the 85 that got into Elliott Sadler, and you can see Jeff Krogh there in the 56 getting involved. There goes Dave Blaney in the 93, Buckshot Jones in the 00. All of them collected, and just it's like a freeway. Everybody got tied up in something they had nothing to do with.
Buckshot's waving. He knows there's a problem. He sees that 66 slow. Yeah. Oh, he got hit from behind too.
You can see by that replay that Jimmy Spencer went down on the flat part of the racetrack and avoided that accident. He was the 12 car that you were looking at. So the Brunswick Bowling Pontiac, just about a spare on that one for Buckshot Jones in the 00. Trying to make some room. We're back. Second caution. There's the reason. Sterling Marlin's number 1. Stand up in the tail as they come around to complete 50 laps this time. Caution on the speedway for Sterling Marlin. really wrapped that one.
Yeah, that's a Felix Tabata's car as well. Uh-oh. He just got a knockout punch from the WCW.
Lance Hooper. Yep. Lance Hooper got right over into him. Sterling into the outside wall hard there.
Wow.
That don't look pretty from any angle.
Woo. And how did it start?
Right here.
Well, you see Randy LaJoy there in the 74. He's just behind the 23 there of Lance Hooper as they head down in turn 3. He drops back a little bit going in the corner. Lance Hooper probably went in that corner. You'll probably see the back of the car kind of slip right there. He'll move up a little bit. He'll make contact right there. And that sends Sterling flying.
Yeah. I think you're right, buddy. I think Hooper looked in the mirror. He saw the LaJoy car. He drove it in there a little bit harder, and it got down under Sterling, got the air off the spoiler, spun him around. Everybody, now you just stay behind that 60 car a while and watch what he does. And you watch what Dale Jr. does.
Oh, no, they make contact there.
Good grief.
Kevin Schwantz. Mark Martin just gave him a little tap, and away he went, head on into the wall with number 88. That one's a wipeout.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. has a lot of damage to the right front corner of his car as he goes down into turn 1 there and starts off the racetrack.
Yeah, what happened there was Dale Jr. saw what he thought that car was going to turn and come back across the racetrack. He got on the brakes, when he did, it shot him in the outside wall.
There's the 88. Kevin Schwantz, badly smashed up.
Like I said, I ought to cut that boy a little extra slack.
Lap 56. Kevin Schwantz moving inside the car after thumping at better than 180 miles per hour into the concrete. Take a look at the 3 car here.
Yeah, he's done. He smacked the heck out of the wall down here in turn 4. That's too bad.
Made a move on the outside to get out of it. Collected that outside wall instead. Dale Earnhardt Jr. Lap 56.
Well, here's Mark Martin. He runs up behind Schwantz there, and he wants to get under him. And I'm not sure he ever touched him. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, well, I am pretty sure he did touch him. And of course, Dale Jr. He just didn't know where that car was going to go, and he got on the brakes and shot him in the outside retaining wall. So I guess you'd have to give Schwantz a break there, thinking he's trying to get a lap back.
And there's the number 3 tapping the wall.
Yeah, and the 17 got into the back of the 3 too, so that's why he's been in the pits.
See Bobby Labonte there and Dale Jarrett going across the grass to avoid the Earnhardt car that was going towards the infield there. You never know when they hit the wall that hard whether they have any steering at all.
We'll take a break with 58 and 200.
Make it better sometimes because you lose some of that front down. Got trouble over in the back.
Bound. Jimmy Bound bounces one off the fence. Number 51 that had qualified 3rd brings out the 4th caution of the day at lap number 84. 126 miles deep into this 300-miler. What a bad break for Dick Bound, his dad, Jimmy, and that one employee. Small team. Have really given him a good run today, but it looks like it may end right here. We'll take a quick break and be back with you. 85 laps are complete. Bound seems to be okay. We'll check on that for you in a moment and be back with more from Charlotte.
Go, 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 go.
Big crash on this turn 4.
Left side, come on.
Jeff Purvis is one of the cars. That's him and the 4 there.
That's Jason Jarrett.
Oh, man.
Was tucked right in with his dad. That doesn't look like too much damage on the 11 as they bring it around. Give you some highlight replay coverage of what's happened here at lap number 135 on your program. 135. And the front end to Kimball on car number 4 for Jeff Purvis.
Ooh, there's your problem.
There's your problem.
Yeah.
Nothing for Jason.
Well, the cars, I tell you, the cars right now, Kevin LePage was coming in the pits. The cars have just really gotten the ill handling. Everybody would seem like they had their hands full with these things right at this point in the race.
Jason, the Jet, just got defused out there. We'll take a break at lap 135 and come back and show you the highlights of what has brought out this 5th caution of the day. This is how it happened up here in turn 4.
Yeah, it looks like Jarrett just got turned around backwards there. And
There goes Jeff Purvis. He got on the brakes. He probably got hit by that car going through the infield there in the back. Turned him into the outside wall. You can see everybody else working very hard to miss these cars as they spin.
And that's the second car he's torn up this weekend because he crashed qualifying. So not again.
In the wall, Doug Reed is one. Joe Bessie is the other. Caution is out.
Well, what a tough break for a couple of drivers. Joe Bessie has had a lot of bad breaks this year and last year. Doug Reed, one of the newcomers in this series, torn up car.
Yeah, he's a past, Doug Reed is a past kart world champion and trying to make his way in Winston Cup, Busch Grand National, and you can see the car has a lot of damage there.
Reed started 36th. Bessie started 41st, so this happened deep in the pack. Kevin LePage, who started 40th, went to the infield grass to miss them. Reed started the season as number 97 with his own family operation. Now drives that number 7, the Ed Whitaker car, which I believe he began driving at Bristol.
That is correct. You can see the damage to the rear of the car. One of the panels off here is Joe Bessie's car. A lot of damage to the front end of his car as he takes it to the garage area.
Let's see what happened here.
Well, it looks like the 7 car of Reed might have gotten tapped a little bit, buddy, as he came off the turn.
I was looking at him there. I'm not sure he got any assistance at all. He was coming through the corner there, and all of a sudden the 7 car of Reed just turned a little bit. See Wayne Grubbs there in 83 gets a little assistance from Jimmy Spencer. Dale Earnhardt Jr. goes low to miss the wreck coming out of turn 2.
You can see Grubbs' car keeps hitting the wall up there.
And as he does, look at the big smoke cloud everyone else has to come through.
Just keeps banging into the wall. There's not a great deal that he can do about it. The toe end is really knocked out on him.
Jeff Green, trouble. Turn 2, 2 cars hard in the wall. Patty Moise, and is that Matt Hutter?
That is Matt Hutter, number 36 there. You can see a lot of damage to the back of that race car and the right front corner. Left front corner, pardon me.
Lap 51, and Hutter's Pontiac. Matt, an engine builder, son of a fellow who won a lot of championships for Richie Evans and a few championships here, Ron Hutter. He heads up that engine building company in Chardon, Ohio. Matt worked his way along and into this Busch Grand National ride this year, and he and Patty Moise have crashed hard in the turn 2 wall. Safety crews there talking to Patty, an IMSA veteran who once qualified on the outside pole for a Busch Grand National race at Road Atlanta, Georgia, one of the few road races that they've had in this series.
Of course, most of her experience before coming to the Grand National Series was on road races.
Right, she ran Ned in the IMSA Kelly Girl Challenge, a series that paid bonus money to female drivers, and she and a number of women frequently collected that kind of bonus. Tommy Riggins was a mainstay in that series. A lot of good short track racers as well were in that group before Patty came over to Busch Grand National Racing. It's the third caution of the day. The first, Doug Reed's spin collecting Joe Bessie, and the second, apparent contact between Jimmy Spencer and Wayne Grubb at lap 30. We're 51 laps in to this 200-lap event.
Pit road is closed at the moment. It might be open the next time around, but we have seen no cars come on pit road as a result.
36 cars still on the lead lap of the 43 starters. LePage, Grubb, Reed, and Bessie are in the garage. Cope a lap down, and certainly Matt Hutter and Patty Moise's cars are going to go off on the rollback. They ran Legends cars here last night at the Speedway here in Texas. The youngest driver in the field was 12 years old in those little Mighty Mite cars, Casey Smith of Austin. And the oldest, rookie Earl Allen, decided this is just something I need to do. And so at age 80, wow, he bought himself a Legends car. There they are. He was out here running it last night. Way to go. Earl Allen said he felt the need for speed. They say I'm old and stupid, he said, but I have no fear. He finished 14th.
I'll buy that.
Yeah. Well, we can see Hutter walking away from his car.
And there's Patty Moise. He's standing talking to Patty. They are both okay. Great news.
Pit road was still closed. Cars stay out on the track.
Let's show you what happened there in turn 2. Hunter is the yellow car. Patty Moise is that pinkish machine.
Well, they make contact as they come off the turn.
Patty Moise got in the back of Matt Hutter as they were going through the corner there and turned him out of the groove there, and he spun up into the wall. She collected herself with that little bump.
And there's a bit of the aftermath. And the folks that'll be sitting in those condos will have a nice view of that action. Out there in turn number 2. 72 condominiums. Call your agent. All but 6 are sold. They start at $300,000. Another of the enhancements is Bruton Smith and his folks continue to make improvements here. Quarter 0 and Jeff Burton on the number 9.
Hermie is in trouble.
In the wall, 2 cars. Jones and Sadler. Oh! And trying to get past with Jeff Purvis. And nowhere to go. Cut it left and slid into Sadler. That car looks like it's been hit from all sides.
I believe Dave Blaney was involved in it as well.
This is Dave Blaney as you're looking at him coming at you down towards the start-finish line.
A chain reaction crash up in turn 3. There was the first car sideways, Hermie Sadler.
See Hermie moving around in there, unhooking his radios and getting his helmet off.
Well, he was really looking forward to a good day. I talked to his sister. His sister scores for, I guess, Hermie. I'm not sure which one she scores for, but one of them. And I saw her up here a little bit earlier and said maybe the Sadler brothers can both have good days here today. Hermie hasn't had nearly as good a year so far as his brother Elliott.
Hermie's best finish, 7th at Darlington. Only 2 top 10s this year. Nonetheless, 8th in the point standings. And helmet off.
They drive for the same team. Gary Bechtel owns the team. Different sponsors, of course.
And they'll help Hermie getting out of the car. Buckshot Jones, the car all stove in, and the nose of Dave Blaney's Pontiac. Also badly damaged as this brings out the 5th caution flag of the day. And Hermie's going to climb out, mostly under his own power. Buckshot Jones comes to the pit lane.
See Hermie getting out a little slow right there. He got whacked pretty hard there by Jeff Purvis, and when you're almost stopped like that, the car slides into you. It really takes an effect on you.
Looks like they might be going to put a neck brace on him as well, buddy, as a precautionary. Well, no, decided not to do that.
I think he just wants a minute to clear his head. It was a hard hit. Not so much the one with the wall, but that one when Jeff Purvis tried to get away from him as Sadler's car was sliding down the racetrack. Blaney's car has now come around to the pit lane as well. And see if they wave him into the pit or the garage.
I believe he's going to head for the garage, Mike.
You can see the steam coming there, the radiator and everything.
Yeah, the NASCAR official is saying, hey, back it up. There's an opening in the wall. Need to take it to the garage and do the work. There's too much to do out here on pit road. Plus the fact that you're losing all that fluid on pit road and other drivers coming in don't need to run over that. They'll put a little quick dry over that and take care of it.
Fortunately, everybody's okay. That's Hermie Sadler. Just take a minute to collect his thoughts before he climbs there onto the stretcher and will get a ride to the infield care center. Buckshot Jones has made 1 pit stop and goes back out on the racetrack, hoping to remain on the lead lap. Dave Blaney's Pontiac is behind the wall. This happened well back of the leaders. Mark Green, Tony Stewart, Jimmy Spencer, Joe Nemechek, Elliott Sadler, Matt Kenseth. So they were battling for about 8th, 9th place when the incident occurred. We saw it from the rear bumper of one car, just saw the start of it, saw Sadler's car get sideways. Buddy, on the first lap after a restart, are you racing a little harder knowing that as they come up to speed, you got a chance to get by somebody?
Well, you can see they try to go in the corner side by side. They make a little contact there. Elliott Sadler or Hermie Sadler to the outside there. Buckshot up against the wall, and you can see Purvis just come straight in there. Blaney also hit him.
Let's have another look here, Ned.
Just a little contact made there, and around Buckshot goes, and Hermie up there too. A lot of other cars almost getting involved.
Dale Jarrett had to shoot right through the gap, among others.
Jeff Burton, he was very lucky. He was the next car by.
And so is Mark Martin. Another look to see the cars that took evasive action to get down on the inside, and then that hard lick by Jeff Purvis in car number 4. And look at that car, how bent up it is around as it hit on the right side.
Let's watch from above and see if there's any initial contact right side of your screen. But there goes Sadler up top.
Mike, it don't take much. They just barely rub as they start into turn 3. That put both cars on the spin. You can see Purvis come along. Watch this hit. Oh.
That was a hard lick.
And from Matt Kenseth's car, the first view we saw. Oh, looks like Jones got sideways first.
Yeah, when they made contact getting in the corner there. You've heard that old saying where they say they take the air off the spoiler. That's basically the...
From Mike McLaughlin. Went through it that fast. So Blaney behind the wall. Buckshot Jones, a pit stop for repairs. And Hermie Sadler will get a ride to the care center. This past Tuesday, one of NASCAR's 50 greatest drivers of all time passed away. Here's Ken Squire.
A pioneer of American stock car racing, Tim Flock died this week at age 73 from cancer. He'll be remembered for his 40 victories, twice the national champion, but best remembered for the stories. Like when they told him in '52 he had to run roll bars and then was disqualified. He said nobody told him he couldn't run wooden roll bars. He had a co-driver, a monkey named Jocko Flacco. They weren't too excited about that in NASCAR either. Tim Flock, one of the great legends of American stock car racing.
LaJoie with all these pit stops, he's now the 4th place car. There's Dale Sr. with his Winston Cup car owner Richard Childress. Trouble.
Spencer's in the wall.
Yeah, maybe all that stuff he got on his tires down in turn 1 and 2.
Might have cut one.
Perhaps.
See, no caution.
You see Spencer scrubbing against the wall and stopping, so that will bring the caution out.
10 drivers will benefit. There are 10 on the lead lap as Jimmy Spencer's crew, with victory perhaps in sight, will have to pack it up and go home. Dale Earnhardt Jr., Phil Parsons, Glenn Allen, Randy LaJoie, who I think found that lucky charm he was seeking at the top of the day, Kyle Petty, Joe Nemechek, Mark Crow, Elliott Sadler, and Mark Green. Those cars have not pitted in this sequence and may be the only cars on the lead lap. What happened to Jimmy Spencer?
Down into 1, the right front goes flat. You can see very hard into the outside wall. It never turned, Ned.
No, it didn't. So apparently he cut the tire for one reason or another. Let's go to the pits and route.
Well, Corey Stott, we're saying that it sounds like he might have cut a tire down. Is that what Jimmy said?
And they got some cars on the lead lap. For example, Mark Green, he's on the lead lap, the tail end of the lead lap. They got to get by all of those cars.
Oh, trouble.
Glenn Allen got turned.
Nemechek got in the back of him as they come across the start-finishing line right there.
He went up into Dale Jarrett.
Caution.
And the caution is out.
Cars that did not stop fall in that last caution behind the safety car, and the cars that pitted have to line up behind them. So even though those cars were on the tail end of the lead lap, they got to restart in front of the lead cars, and some of them will get back up to run with the leaders. Mark Green.
They will. He'll get his lap back.
Mark Green, Jeff Green. Nemechek posted as the leader. There's Jarrett running with right side damage. And Glenn Allen was the victim of that.
Yeah, that's too bad. He was sitting there in position, you know, to have a good finish, maybe even to win the race, and got tagged from behind and spun out. Took Jarrett with him.
Last week in Bristol. There's Glenn Allen. Come down pit road to John Munson. Glenn's best finish of the season was 9th at Bristol last week. Field slows under caution, 10 laps to go. Very little debris on the racetrack, so this may be a quick caution. Here's Ralph.
We're in the pits of Glenn Allen as they go to work on the car. No word from Glenn to crew chief John Munson as to what happened. This was their only new car in their stable. Now frustrated Glenn Allen still looking for his first Busch Grand National victory.
Mark Martin will pit.
He was very close to that situation. Let's look at it again.
Joe Nemechek right there makes contact into Allen's car, turns him down. You see Dale Jarrett getting collected there, trying to avoid the wreck on the inside.
Wonder if Allen was fully up to speed. Here's another look. Now watch those two cars at the bottom left of your screen.
And Nemechek really gets on the accelerator. He has good speed going there and just wham right into the back of him.
Ned, I think Allen, compared to the cars on the inside lane, was backing up. Perhaps he missed his shift. Who knows?
It does look like that he didn't get a real good start.
Dale Jarrett tried to take evasive action there in the 32. Just couldn't get far enough away from Allen. Glenn Allen's best career.
Now he's teaching a lot of these young kids. Good let trouble off turn 4.
Andy Houston. Houston, we have troubles in turn 4.
Caution is out.
It is for the first time today. Listening into Andy Houston's bunch, tell him to go on. 43.
Pull that quarter panel off that left rear. Let's take a couple rounds of bite out of it.
You can hear them talking to the pit crew there. They actually analyze what they have to do to the cars when they make their stops.
Let's raise the track bar up on it there. It's from the center off is where it's bad. And look at the center off.
You hear him talking about taking bite out, raising the track bar. The car is tight. It's not turning in the middle of the corner, so they're wanting to take wedge out of it, raise that roll center in the rear. That'll hopefully help the car turn in the middle of the corner.
Let's take another look, guys, to see if we saw the 56 limping around too. Jeff Krogh. Let's see if he was involved in this altercation. There he is. Yeah. There was contact. I don't know.
There was, yeah. Andy Houston there got touched just a little bit by the 56 car.
Although from the picture, we don't know if Houston maybe was letting up after going wide.
Ready to give up. The old car just maybe it run off those cold tires for just a little bit.
Riding now with Phil Parsons. And you know,
big time wreck on the back straightaway.
Everything is blocked. Earnhardt Jr., you've got the 4 is Dennis Setzer. You've got Matt Hutter in the 36. 32 is Jason Jarrett.
Randy LaJoy still trying to get going. He knows if he can get back around, he'll stay on the lead lap here, and I believe he's going to do it.
And Andy Santerre was also in that mess.
A lot of damage to Randy's car, but he did stay on the lead lap there, so that was a good break for him, but a bad break for a lot of cars there. There you see the 17 car, a lot of damage there on the front end of him.
Matt Hutter there, the 36, first time here. There's Earnhardt Jr. There's Andy Santerre in the 47. We have had a swap in the lead. Berrier did come back to the stripe, and there's old Mike McLaughlin using up the car.
That's the good side of the car. It's torn up twice as bad on the right side as he come by the front grandstand.
This is the suspension camera underneath the Stanley Tools machine for Matt Hutter. You can just see the smoke bubbling out there, Larry. What are we looking at?
We're looking at the rear suspension here. You see the rear sway bar that has Stanley wrote on it right there. And again, I think a lot of the cars maybe that's running that rear sway bar, it's kind of a culprit there because that will make a car very loose up off the corner. It'll help it turn through the center, but it definitely will make it loose off the corner. There you see he's made a stop in the pits, and they're evaluating the damage. And Steve Burns, what can you tell us about Dennis Setzer's damage?
Well, I can tell you it's in bad shape, Larry. The left front end is pushed in severely. They're pushing him into his pit stall. Remember, Dennis Setzer won here in 1994. He's filling in for the injured Jeff Purvis today. They're not moving. Crew Chief Johnny Allen looking at the team. They're not moving real fast right now, which is a bad sign. Heavy, heavy damage to Dennis Setzer. Let's go to Glenn Jarrett.
And we've moved down here into Mike McLaughlin's pitch. We're looking at the car. There's a lot of damage. They're working on the right front of the car in particular right now, and the left front. He's got oil. There's an oil line loose. There's a lot of oil off the car. Elliott Sadler comes in. There's oil everywhere on the left front tire. I don't think they're going to be able to get this car back out there, guys. There's a big mess down here. Dale Earnhardt comes in. He's got big damage to the left front. He's reporting that the car is overheating. He's afraid that he may have ruptured the radiator and it lost the water. He's knocked the toe in out on the car, so they got a lot of work to do as well. Elliott Sadler being pushed backwards and nearly collides with Tracy Leslie. He's coming by. Elliott's car is stalled. They're going to have to push it off. So, wow, wholesale damage and action down here.
You know, the big problem here when you have damage and you're on pit road, you have to maintain 30 miles an hour, and you don't have time to work on your race car. The time you working on it, the pace car's there, and you got to get out on the racetrack again to keep them going a lap down.
Let's take a look at what happened now from a number of different angles. This is the backstretch.
This is off of turn 2, coming down the backstretch. There you see the 36 car already sideways. Mike Cope just evading damage all the way down in the infield. There you see the 3 car, Dale Earnhardt Jr. sideways. There you see the 4 car, Dennis Setzer.
Shane Hall, the 85, also involved.
This is riding with Matt Hubbard. He gets in from behind. You see him going around, smoke flying everywhere, being collected by other cars there. You can see the 4 there, Dennis Setzer up against the wall, Andy Santerre in the 47.
And there you see that Lance Snacks machine that is going to be going back behind the wall for repairs, if at all possible. 0.8 of a second.
Oh, he gets Dillon sideways.
And Presley. And Dillon saves it. Oh, and Presley gets
hit. They just keep stacking up.
Tony Stewart spins up to the outside wall of the 44. Caution, lap number 94.
Mark Krogh is involved. The 80 car is smoking. You can see the radiators broke on it.
I'll tell you, Dillon did himself a great job in saving that automobile. And look at Krogh's car. Glenn, what'd you see? You're down there near turn 1.
Oh, Eli, when you guys yelled, I looked up, and both of them came into turn 1. Both Dillon and Presley were sideways. Presley went on around. Mike Dillon made one of the greatest saves I have ever seen in my racing life. That car was completely sideways, heading toward the Winston Racing Series sign on the wall, and somehow he kept it out of it. I'll tell you what, he's got my vote for the best move of maybe the year so far. What a great save.
But terrible luck for Phil Parsons. You can see from the in-car camera and from this camera angle, he has tremendous damage to that car, being in the wrong place at the right time.
Doesn't matter what camera you use to look at old Phil there. He's got himself major problems. Here it is again. Let's take a look at what happened as they went off towards turn 1. Again, 72, Mike Dillon, 59, Robert Presley.
Front straightaway, 72 there. Mike Dillon gets touched by the 59, Robert Presley. That spins both cars out of control. Dillon makes a great save. Robert Presley goes around, and behind him you can see people just stacking up. There's Phil Parsons,
that's
Mark
what happened
Krogh.
to Phil. 52, humping on the brakes there. Kevin Grubb did a good job there. And Phil Parsons, he was running in 4th. There's the 6 of Joe Bessie. He was involved.
Dillon comes down. Presley gets into the left rear. That's never going to change. You can show 500 times. That's contact getting in the corner.
Look at that. Bessie goes through.
Oh, Bessie goes
and
right in the back.
can't find an opening. Watch Jason Jarrett there down low, the white car. Just takes to the apron of the racetrack, and he scoots through. Tony Stewart's up there by the wall, the 44. And now from Dick Trickle's bumper cam, let's take a look. Or at least from Phil's bumper cam. That's Phil Parsons.
Phil getting it in the front and the rear. A lot of damage to that automobile.
Shoo-wee.
Tough how that happens. Some years guys miss all those accidents. Some years they get into those accidents. It just happens. Caution for the 3rd time today. We're at lap 96 here on.
I wouldn't say anybody had an advantage, but you can see right there, Ed Barrier makes contact to Randy LaJoie.
And around goes LaJoie. Oh, hard hit. Grubb tried to sneak through, and now the front straightaway finds itself all stacked up. Needless to say, caution is on the speedway for the 9th time as Randy LaJoie went around. We're not quite sure of the lap because the scoreboard is behind that big smoke that you saw over there in the corner. And again, we're in the satellite truck because of the power outage. So we'll have Wayne Womack, our cameraman, show us lap 235 caution for the 9th time, lap 235. We're going to break away and come right back. We are live with you at Hickory Motor Speedway. A little bit under power, but nevertheless a darn good race. We're coming right back. Welcome back, everybody, to Hickory Motor Speedway. A very unusual day and a further unusual yards of the race.
How good? Oh, we have problems. Mark Green
into the wall. Lap 280, as you can clearly see. Mark Green, caution. Right front tire is what it looked like, buddy.
Yeah, you could see the sparks as he started into turn 1. The right front was down and straight into the wall.
So Mark Green brings out caution for the 10th time today as he loses a right front tire and goes into the wall in turn number 1. Berrier leads, Kenseth is second, Dillon is third, Hermie Sadler is fourth on TNN.
And Ron Hornaday as we watch second, third, and fourth here. Oh, we have a crash, and it's LaJoie.
Randy LaJoie.
Wow.
Heavy contact.
Boy, the back end of that car is just totally gone.
Wow. And that's got to be gasoline that's running across the racetrack. So I hope he doesn't start that thing up.
That could ignite it.
We do see him moving around in the car.
Wow, LaJoie trying for his 3rd straight series championship, and boy, did he go in. It got a little bit off the ground.
And look at the gasoline that is going around there. This early in the race, you know that the gas tank is completely full of fuel. So he mashed the fuel cell up like it had to go someplace.
Ray, what's the story down there? We see Randy crawling out.
Well, I'm not exactly sure, Bob. I'll get a word here with Steve Bird, the crew chief. Did Randy tell you what happened out on the racetrack, Steve?
And I guess his buddy got into him, I guess.
Who's his buddy?
Buckshot.
Never mind. We're talking about the 00, of course, and they've had the problems on the racetrack a number of times. You can see by the look on Randy's face there, he's pretty dejected.
Yes, he is.
He is a little bit hot right now, to say the least.
There's Buckshot Jones. He was running now in 17th position after starting 22nd. So the caution out here at Nazareth after 7 laps. Dale Earnhardt Jr. is the leader, and a crash on the course has caused the yellow. ESPN Speed World coverage of the First Union 200 being brought to you by Suzuki Motorcycles and ATVs. Now during Suzuki Fest 98, get $500 worth of accessories free and choose from great deals like 0 down or low APR financing on selected models. By Eagle One, A to Z wheel cleaner, spray on, hose off, towel dry, easy as 1, 2, 3. And by Midas, for quality service, visit your neighborhood Midas today. Randy LaJoie has crashed here in the opening laps, and boy, the back end of that car, BP, is really caved in, and you can see the cleanup crew.
They've already put a diaper on the car to make sure that more fuel doesn't leak on the racetrack and on the grounds. And we see, watch his contact. We really can't see it because of that tower there, but you can see as the car came down how high off the track it was, and we see the fuel coming out of the car on the racetrack.
Yeah, it was spraying as it went around, but no fire.
Oh, on the back straightaway, trouble on the back straightaway. Caution is out. That's a big layover there, Timmy. Big watch.
Mike Dillon's in that. We see the 59 car. Hornaday's in that. Jeff Purvis. Phil Parsons just gets his car rolling. Joey McCarthy at 41.
Wow, that was a...
Is that Earnhardt? Is that... Yes, Dale Earnhardt's in the crash. We see the back of his car torn up. And here comes... And also the front's torn up. Tracy Less is in there. Oh, my goodness.
Well, Earnhardt was moving up. He was up to about 17th position from this 24th restart spot because of the violation that NASCAR ruled against him. Let's take a look at how all this occurred.
There we see the 72 car had run in the back of LePage. When he backed off and hit the brakes, then Earnhardt ran into the 72 car, and then all of a sudden, there's no place for the cars to go. Just all jammed up.
Cars spinning and hitting the wall everywhere over there in the backstretch. Here it is from another angle. Purvis in the 4, Dillon the 72. There's Earnhardt making contact. Blaze Alexander also involved, the 73 of Brian Wall.
10 car, Phil Parsons spun.
A lot of bent machinery over there. Looks like Blaze Alexander's car still over there. And there is Dale Earnhardt Jr. and the damage that was sustained by his car. Andy Santerre is in the pits. He was involved. Has some body damage. Ray, how serious is it?
Well, Bob, it looks pretty bad on the front end of the number 47 Monroe car for Andy Santerre. He's had some good runs here at this racetrack. He finished 5th and 6th in a Busch North race, but it appears like today it's not going to be a good finish for him. They're looking it over, but I think they may have got the radiator, and when that happens, it's pretty bad.
And here comes Earnhardt down pit road. Bill Weber, he's headed toward you.
And his AC Delco Chevy is a mess. The front's bashed in, the sides are caved in, the rear end is partially ripped away. They'll try and pull the sheet metal out the first time and then send him around and bring him back in. They're going to have to cut part of the sheet metal off the left front. Tony Uri Jr. had just told me this was their #1 concern when they were put at the back of the field, that you can only come through the pack so many times without running into trouble. Well, Earnhardt had his trouble, and he'll be back for more repairs here briefly.
And what he's trying to do right now is just stay on the lead lap. Tony Uri Sr. looked up, saw the pace car coming, said, look, let him go. We're just going to try to save all the laps we can because we've got some serious problems here. Yes, and he does. He did not lie about that.
There is parts dropping off that car as it goes around. Well, the good news from all this was Ben.
But once the fast guy stops, everybody else is going to have to...
Buckshot is spinning and blasting the wall. Man, he hit it hard.
Corner too hard.
And the car stops right in the middle of the racetrack. But fortunately, the spotters will tell their drivers that there is a car blocking the track, and they will take evasive action.
Buckshot had a run on the 34 car going in that corner. He tried to get alongside when he realized that McLaughlin was not there. McLaughlin was going to come down. We hear Ricky Pearson ask if the car is moving.
Yeah, move it, Tony. Don't look like it'll roll. I thought I seen it spin on the tires.
Wow. Another driver in the top 5 in the point standings has problems. Buckshot 4th going into this race. This is the 5th caution flag of the afternoon. Here it is again.
Diving in the corner. He thought he might have a run, but here he gets there and says, uh-oh, I can't make it. Actually, McLaughlin gave him the room, but when all of a sudden, when he had to slam on the brakes, he spun the car, and we can see some heavy contact.
When in driver's side, here's another angle. He had committed to the spot, but then just could not hold it. And boom, right up against the wall. And from LePage's onboard camera.
And you see the McLaughlin did, in fact, give him the room.
Well, now we see that Buckshot's car is still up there, apparently will not roll, and the cars on the lead lap coming in for pit stops. Fedewa, McLaughlin, Keller, Kenton, Bessie, Sadler,
And there's one in turn 1 also. Caution is out.
Mike Coulter crashed in 3, and looks like Preston slams the wall with the rear end of the car and won. There's Preston, and boy, that's almost looks like a Randy LaJoie car, doesn't it?
Man, oh man. Heavy contact with both these cars.
Yep. Cope is moving, however, but Preston is not. And so it's the 6th caution of the afternoon.
I would guess that very few cars will be making a pit stop. I don't think that Purvis is going to give up all his track position right now. No, he rides by the entrance to pit road. There we see John Preston.
Looks like the window net is down, and he's just simply waiting there for somebody to come and get him. He's all right. But boy, he hit 2.
And Cope pulled his car away from the wall on the 2nd corner.
Mm-hmm. right side of your screen, watch Mike Cope up into the fence.
Yeah. And we see some pretty heavy contact with the fence with a 30 car.
Cope making his way to the pits with damage on both ends of the car. Well, we sure have seen some tore up equipment here this afternoon,
Yes,
haven't we?
we have.
Man, oh man. Including John Preston, whose car is still on the racetrack in turn number 1 as they re-shod the number 30 Slim Jim car.
And they're looking to damage the right front, just seeing how much damage there is. Call another car now. As a NASCAR official is checking things out, letting the tower know.
Well, 116. Hermie Sadler into the wall, and we're going to have at least one other car involved. This car sitting right in the middle of the racetrack. Now he gets going in the right direction. And
Patty that's she.
Yes.
Patty Louise, I think.
And the caution is out once again.
Yes, it was. Patty, the Rhodes Furniture Ford.
Yeah, she got tangled up with somebody as they both braked to avoid the original spinner. 7th caution of the race. There's some damage on Brian Wall's car.
This looks like the left front, I should say, is rubbing the tire. Left front fender rubbing the tire. That's what's creating the smoke.
Again, stay with us because we have senior PGA golf coming up from Belton, Missouri, the St. Luke's Classic, just as soon as we conclude this event with now less than 20 laps to go. Let's take a look at what happened.
There we see Hermie Sadler in the 29 cars. He gets his car righted, and there we see Patty Louise. I guess that's where Brian Wall got the damage with his car. He made contact with Patty Louise as all cars drive away.
From Shane Hall's on board, let's watch and listen.
We saw the contact, but
just as we were going away to commercial, trouble for Brad Loney in the 45 car up in turn 3.
Yeah, if you to back this up a little bit for that white car on the down on the bottom of the racetrack there, he was coasting into turn 3, and Loney here on the outside clipped him as he went down into turn 3, or whichever way it went, I couldn't tell.
The car on the bottom there was Hank Parker Jr., the white car.
And it looked gear, and it demonstrated what proved to be problematic for the guys behind him. Cope went around, and now Cope is in trouble again. And I don't know if Hermie will get the blame for this or not. He's stuck in the kitty litter. Mike Cope, teammate to McLaughlin, the second-place driver, has buried the front end and buried it deep.
That looks like he's off over in the inner loop. It sure is. Here they are coming down the backstretch here. He's right behind Hermie, and coming into the inner loop here where you start to downshift in the second gear. Looks like he got a little bit of a wiggle there. Got the car turned around sideways and backed into the gravel pit. Now watch what a good job this gravel pit does of slowing that car down so it doesn't hit a guardrail.
Well, that's terrific. Third caution of the day, and I didn't realize it, but he's actually on the backside of the gravel trap. He had fresh tires after the pit stop. Will be the 3 of Earnhardt. Oh, Schwantz is off course. Kevin Schwantz. Yeah, I almost had to wonder if this wasn't going to happen inevitably and eventually. And now we got somebody else loose and in trouble. I believe that's Lagacy, but he's gathered it back up. A wild fray out front. We get our first opportunity to give Hillen a call. He went backward quickly after that first lap shuffle. I think I said it was Santerre that got into the wall on that first lap, but actually I believe it might have been Hillen, and he suffered damage to the car. Schwantz.
I'm wondering if his throttle might have stuck.
Yeah, exactly. That might not be a bad guess.
It don't look like it unless he just hit the ignition and killed it and tried to just pull it to the side and is done trying to mess with that throttle problem.
Maybe Ray Dunlap can elaborate.
Well, Steve, that's exactly what I thought. It was going to be the throttle again, but I just looked up at C.R. Miller, and he said, nope, the engine broke, so they're done for the day.
Well, that's a shame. Why would Kenseth take that kind of a wild chance on the first lap? Well, he needs to lead. Uh-oh, we've got Hermie in the kitty litter here. The 29 DeWalt car is up to the axles after Hermie Sadler, who had a terrible time qualifying here, was the last guy to qualify on speed. Managed to get off the road. I'm looking to see where Sadler was at the time of the incident. The full course yellow has come out. So Sadler parks it. It'll take a while to clean him out. It's the fourth caution of the day. And these guys have not gotten it yet. And I was talking about how badly Kenseth wants the lead. He gets it going through the inner loop. They do give bonus points in the Busch Series this year for the first time. So for Kenseth, it's worth 5 points to get the lead, and he's got it. Now let's see if we can figure out what happened to Hermie here.
He just looked like he was tight and just got off into the grass. Did a good job getting the car slowed down. Another great gravel pit, which is an improvement here at Watkins Glen. Got that car slowed down so it didn't get... He's running a good third, so let's go down to the pits.
Steve, you're talking about the driver of the 9 car, Ashton Lewis.
Trouble for Kenseth, Ray. Let me interrupt you.
Yeah,
That's Matt Kenseth, who has spun it at the inner loop and now spins it again, trying to straighten it out. They'll try this one more time. He was in 7th at the time of the spin. He is your championship point leader. Matt Kenseth getting her back up to speed.
Underway again.
Listen to the radio.
He's back underway, but he knew going into this, he felt that if he just stayed on the track and didn't get spun off, he'd get a top 10 finish. And he was running 7th there right before he went off, so hopefully he'll be able to recover from that later on.
Spin at the inner loop for the number 17 car, Matt Kenseth, as we were talking about Ashton Lewis and the excellent performance he's turned in here, hanging on to that third spot. Now into the kitty litter goes the 29 of Hermie Sadler, and that's the second time that's happened to him today.
And he had a brake problem earlier. We're wondering if they got that fixed good enough or if he's experiencing that brake problem again and got off into the gravel pit.
There's the 17 Kenseth, and I think we'll get another opportunity perhaps to see what happened there. I missed the entrance.
It looked like he just started the wheel hop on the entrance. Too hard on the brakes, got the rear wheels hopping, got the car loose, did a good job of saving it, and just spinning down to the inside there where he didn't get in that gravel trap where he'd get trapped for a lap or two. And here's from the onboard camera in the Jack Sprague channel lock car.
Locked the brakes.
Locked them up, and boy, Jack did a good job of missing them right there.
Frustration for Kenseth, who
the corner there, so he might be experiencing a little bit of a loose race car, or he might be just driving it for all it's worth.
We got a spinner up there. We got a couple of them, in fact. The number 4 of Jeff Purvis is involved in an incident with Elliott Sadler, and number 73, Brian Wall, is also tangled up in this. This is at the head of the front straightaway, and it's a 3-car mix-up.
And boy, it looks like Jeff Purvis's car took the worst for wear right there, and you can see those blocks that are sitting on the racetrack. Those are foam blocks.
25th, and coincidentally, that was in the number 4 car, the James Finch entry, that has just been beaten to pieces in this big crash at the head of the straightaway. Here's the tail end of it.
You can see Brian Wall there getting turned around, Elliott Sadler involved, and Jeff Purvis looked like he tried to avoid it and got spun around, sideswiped the foam there. Did pretty significant damage to the side of his car, as you can see also.
Well, just imagine what that thing would look like if he'd taken the foam away and put her into that Armco barrier sideways like that.
Mach 3. Oh, we got a car spinning down the front stretch.
Loops it around and comes down across the racetrack, and somehow they missed him. Looks like Michael Waltrip in the Band-Aid for it. It indeed is Michael Waltrip, who had a great run here, finishing 4th last year in the car number 21. There's Mikey. Roof flap still up on the left side.
So he was very fortunate to spin in the middle of all that mess and not be hit by someone. Started back in 15th spot, right in the middle. You see the right front tire is flat on the Band-Aid Ford. Rouse is a local supermarket in Southern California.
Can't see any cosmetic damage at all in the car number 21, so fortunately he loops it out of turn 4, and they went high and beneath him. And there was no other contact, but bringing out caution for the first time today. See if we can show you what happened to Michael Waltrip.
Well, there we see the entire field coming by, and we see Michael come off the corner. Looks like he all by himself just lost it off the corner. And let's see if we see anybody back there making any damage, any contact with the wall. Don't see anyone.
All right, from the in-car camera.
This is Lance Hooper, the Lucas Oil onboard camera. He's still steering that thing through the grass, isn't he?
Look at the cars splitting, and they're trying to all crowd up high. There's Hooper going beneath him, along with Mark Green, the 37 car, the Timberwolf machine. Well, things can happen in a hurry here at California Speedway, lap number 2. And there's the reason. Michael Waltrip loops it at turn 4. It's none the worse for wear. Will come down pit road.
Turns 3 and 4. Not a happy night.
Now let's see what happens here. Jeff comes into view there. I don't know that anybody really got to the back of him. I think he was on the high groove. He's on the outside of Mark Green there, and car just came around with him. I don't know if Mark got into him just a little bit or not, but it didn't look like this ankle.
Out on pit road, Jeff Purvis is there, and he's back out on the track, but heavy damage on the car. Let's go to Matt Yoakum.
Mike, heavy damage to the left rear of the 4 car. He told James Finch over the radio, oh, and there's contact on pit road between the 4 car and the 37. They're pushing the 4 car back. Mark Green is pulling into his pit stall as well. A confrontation between some of the crews, Ken and Campbell, and a couple other guys that are really going at it. Very upset about this confrontation between the 2 cars. The officials are trying to break it up, and Mark Green is being pushed back onto the racetrack. Some definitely heated tempers right now on pit road.
Boy, Jeff Purvis is really upset. You said the tempers get short at these racetracks, and you saw Purvis thinking Mark Green was blocking it. Oh, my.
Johnny Allen trying to calm down. Jeff Purvis is a little upset at this moment. So are the NASCAR officials.
Boy, the competition is fierce. The racing is close, and it gets intense.
And, I don't understand that. I really didn't see. I mean, they looked like they were side by side. I mean, Mark could have pushed him up just a little bit, but I didn't really see anything to cause all that. I mean, I don't. You know, like I said, we're up here, and I don't know what happened there.
Well, let's take a look again, and we'll see what happened when Purvis came into the pits. It was pretty obvious that he was not happy at all with the driver of that 37, Mark Green.
Yeah, let's take a look at it here. See Jeff, the rear end tore up. He comes in behind Mark and gives him a little shove there, and then it broke loose from here. I told you at the start of the show we're going to have tempers flaring. It's one of those deals there that that's a pretty ugly deal there.
Well,
hopefully nobody got hurt.
Let's hope tempers calm, and we get back to some good, clean racing here on the racetrack in a moment. Jeff Purvis obviously upset. That car ran so well here a year ago. Dale Shaw. So the guys you expected to run strong here are, just that they're all spread out a little bit.
They're all spread out, but we got a spin. Hermie Sadler's up there in 3 and 4. He's spun around.
And the yellow will wave here at South Boston. Hermie Sadler get him fired up on the wall. You're listening to his spotter talking to him, and he does have that engine refired. And will be able to rejoin the fray here, probably without going a lap down. And he does.
Come on, Hermie.
So Hermie Sadler will stay on the lead lap here in South Boston. We've completed.
No competition, but each time Tim Beadlewood gets caught with a lap car in between them.
There's a spin in turn 2. It is Kevin Grubb, who was running in 7th place. A tough break for Kevin, who, as we said, was a big winner here last season in the late model series. This is his home track. Qualified well and was hoping to have one of those magical nights here tonight, but it will not be. Kevin Grubb.
No, he got up there against the wall there, and he might have got in just a little bit high himself and just slid up there. I wasn't looking there.
You can see the skid marks there of him sliding up into the wall, and the Window net has come down, and so we're glad to report a sign that Kevin Grubb. Okay.
Yeah, here we go into the first turn. Yeah, hell, he lost it. Just past the start-finish line there and tried to save it. He got in way too high.
Kevin Grubb in trouble here tonight. More on that from Matt Yoakum.
Mike, according to his crew, that he thinks something might have gone amiss in the rear end is to cause that problem. They're not exactly sure if that is the culprit, but he says that's what the first thing is that came to mind by the way the car acted.
All right, thanks a lot, Matty. Working lap 184, there you see Kevin Grubb not happy at all. Hoping, as we said, for great things, and it's not going to happen. It's the worst feeling in the world to be out of that car before the race is over.
Your hometown track here, you want to do really well. And, he can test you all he wants to, but one thing you can't test is you can't test hitting that wall like that.
Well, it's time now for our AutoZone Tech Fact. More than 1,900 AutoZone stores across America. AutoZone, the best parts in auto parts.